College football weekend number 9. It's the final Saturday in October. But before we even get to Saturday, what a Friday night in downtown Los Angeles. The Lakers in action for game number 2 of this season. Of course, it is World Series game number 1 at the Ravine between the Dodgers and the Yankees. And then after all of that wraps up, of course, you get to the nightcap, Joe. Appetizers with LeBron on the court and the Dodgers in a World Series for Rutgers and USC inside the Coliseum on this Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. That is conference realignment and Big Ten expansion for you personified. But elsewhere on this Friday, and I mean this legitimately, a game that could decide which group of 5 program earns one of those 5 automatic berths as a conference champion in the college football playoff. It is number 17 Boise State and Heisman frontrunner Ashton Jeanty. The Broncos off a bye, visiting Las Vegas and UNLV. Boise State is a 3.5-point favorite in Sin City. Total at 64.5. We've got 2 of the best scoring offenses in the country, both ranking in the top 5. How many points might we see in Vegas when all is said and done, Joe? Who scores more points to pick up a monumental Mountain West win tonight on this Friday in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating game because Jeanty is going to have a national spotlight game here tonight. So the whole country is going to see him. This is going to be a huge effort for him. And by the way, this game, in all likelihood, could determine the group of 5 team that actually makes the playoffs. And I believe Boise's only loss was by just 3 to number 1 Oregon. And boy, oh boy, a win by UNLV would help negate that overtime loss to Syracuse, Ben. So this is huge. But I also don't think UNLV's defense at home is just going to roll over and hand Jeanty the Heisman trophy here tonight. I do love this switch at quarterback, obviously, for UNLV. I think they're a more dangerous offense than they were. I think UNLV has the better defense. But most importantly, Ben, UNLV is heads and tails better on special teams than Boise State. UNLV's special teams is the best in the country. And when you're talking about a home dog getting more than a field goal, which is what we have here, and a total at 64.5, I want the team that's going to give me the edges where it matters. Field position, field goals, punting, those kinds of things. Yeah, I'll take your 3.5 points with UNLV at home in this one. I think it's going to be a fun one, but it's one UNLV probably is going to win outright.
Keep an eye on Ricky White for the Runnin' Rebs. I believe it's 3 consecutive games or 3 of the last 4. He has blocked a punt. It is crazy what UNLV can do under Barry Odom on those special teams, all 3 phases, baby. It's coach speak, but it does make a difference for UNLV. Boise State, second best rushing offense in the country, putting up nearly 290 yards per game. The go-go offense of UNLV has not skipped a beat with Haj Malik Williams as their quarterback, 6th best rushing offense in the country. Joe, 2 of the 5 best scoring offenses, 2 of the 10 best total offenses, 2 of those offenses that average more yards on the ground than through the air. Neither bad defending the run, both allowing less than 106 yards per game, but they will be tested. Here's also an edge for Boise State. The Broncos, 29 sacks this year, the most in all of FBS college football around the country. So we shall see a huge one tonight. Again, Boise State, minus 195 to win the Mountain West. This is a Mountain West conference game. Boise State won the Mountain West championship a year ago. The Broncos are ranked 17th in the country. They are the highest ranked group of 5 team at this moment. They have a minus 115 price to reach the college football playoff. And UNLV's only loss in non-con action against Syracuse, still at 6-1. If the Runnin' Rebs are undefeated in the Mountain West, including this victory over Boise State at home tonight, there's a great chance for them to see the CFP. Ashton Jeanty, his rushing yards prop, 190.5. The only 2 times Joey has failed to go over that number is when he has skipped the second half of Boise State's blowout wins against Utah State and FCS foe Portland State. So a huge one tonight on this Friday, a huge one tomorrow on a Saturday in primetime under the lights at College Station. Kyle Field, the setting for 14th ranked Texas A&M and number 8 LSU. This line as of yesterday, Joe, 2.5 points in favor of the Aggies. It is working back to the Bayou Bengals. Now just 11 cents of distinction on the money line. It's a virtual pick'em tomorrow night, Joe, at Kyle Field, who comes out with a win.
I hate LSU. I don't get this team at all. They're not nearly as good as people think they are. Texas A&M has shown us they're pretty good at home here. These teams have split the last 6 meetings, with the underdog being 3-0-1 against the number here. Both of these teams lost the opening game this year, but both have rattled off 6 wins since, Ben. So LSU has figured it out defensively, it would appear. I'm not a big Nessmeyer fan, but I am not a Wegman fan either. I think this is a dead under game. I think the defenses have a lot of success here limiting the offenses, Ben. That's the way I would look at this game.
You would not think that these two teams would play to an under. LSU over in 12 of 13 games last year, under in 4 straight. Joe, I agree. I think it's under 54 and a half. Another top 25 tilt on Saturday in the SEC, a game that both teams must have. Alabama back in Tuscaloosa taking on Missouri. More than likely, we will not see Brady Cook for Mizzou. Drew Pine should step in as the starter. Can Alabama bounce back from its second loss of the year? The odds makers expect, Joe, laying 16.5.
Yes. Yeah. I think this has got Alabama blowout written all over it. Missouri was lucky to win that game, and lucky the hospital was around the corner from the stadium so they could get Cook back last week in that game. I don't think that happens here.
It's a good point. Just for some context, Brady Cook injured his ankle and then got an MRI at a nearby hospital in Columbia. It is a good point. I think Alabama scores a ton tomorrow to show what Jalen Milroe can do. More CFB comes your way next. There are 5 ranked versus ranked top 25 matchups on this Week 9 Saturday in college football, the most for a single Saturday all season long. And why, perhaps, do we have 5 this Saturday? Because Vandy and Navy are both ranked. Vanderbilt, number 25, ranked inside the AP poll for the first time during a season since 2008. We're involved in the final rankings of 2013 most recently. And here Vandy is, Joe, in Nashville, where they tear down goalposts after upsetting a top 5 SEC team, catching 18.5 against a Texas team that suffered the first loss of its season last week against Georgia. The odds makers, as you see there, expect this to be a robust bounce-back spot for the Longhorns. Do you agree with the spread?
Well, it makes sense. The spot obviously favors Texas, being embarrassed last week to Georgia, although that's not really anything to shake your head at, but it was how they lost to Georgia, being held to under 40 yards of total offense in the first half. And now you're going to go on the road again and take on a Vanderbilt team here that has covered all 4 games as a dog this year, and Ben has won 3 of them outright. Pavia has absolutely been great. He also leads the team in rushing, but the problem is if Texas wins this game and covers it, it's going to be because that Texas defense, who is number 1 in yards per play against, especially on the ground, they are going to have to show up in a big way here this week. They didn't against Georgia, but they're going to have to show up in a big way this week. There's no way I can go against Vandy, though. I don't trust Texas. They should win. Will they win by 3 touchdowns? Nobody else has been able to beat Vanderbilt and clear that kind of path, so no reason not to take the points here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You know what is interesting, Joe? Despite Texas remaining the best scoring and total defense in all of college football, they have given up some yardage on the ground as of late. In the opener against Colorado State, the Rams running back put up more than 100. Against Mississippi State, the worst rushing offense in the SEC, 75 yards for their lead back. Last week, Trevor Etienne, 85 and 3 scores despite picking off Carson Beck 3 times. Diego Pavia has a 74% completion percentage, 23 pass attempts or less in all 4 games against Power 4 competition, and he has carried it at least 14 times, 53 yards in all 4 games against Power 4 foes. In all 4 of those games, of course, Vandy has been booked as the dog. They have covered in all 4. They have won outright in 3. And up until last week in a matchup against Ball State, where both teams had gone over in every single game this year, Vandy had gone over in every single game. If Vandy is going to keep this game close, even lose by 2 touchdowns, I think they do so by putting up points. Joe, I'd look at the over 51.5 tomorrow against Texas. The new number 1 team in the country, Oregon, is a 3-touchdown favorite against another great underdog who is also perfect 4-0 ATS this year in Brett Bielema and his Illini. Illinois ranked 20th in the country. It's a top 20 tilt, but Oregon is a hefty favorite in Eugene. How do you see this one playing out?
Listen, terrible spot. Didn't we expect Oregon to have the flat spot last week against Purdue after the Ohio State win? And then what? Oh, yeah, that's right. They shut out Purdue 35 to nothing here. Can't trust Illinois, unfortunately, in this spot. I do think Oregon comes out early. I think they come out often. I think they're starting to finally figure it out. Dylan Gabriel, that offensive line, protecting them now. But more importantly, that Oregon defense has been really, really good. Sure. Back home, only way I could look here is Oregon. I think they absolutely destroy Illinois and leave no doubt in anybody's mind that they are the number 1 team in the country.
Jordan James over his rushing yards prop. My FanDuel browser not updating at this moment, but that's how I would play tomorrow inside Autzen. And again, 5 ranked versus ranked top 25 tilts. That includes number 24 Navy. Inside MetLife Stadium tomorrow afternoon, the Midshipmen, a 13.5-point underdog against Notre Dame. 50.5 is the total. Can the Naval Academy keep it within 2 touchdowns, Joe?
No, they can't. The defense of Notre Dame is that defense of Navy is going to get exposed. They're not going to be able to slow down the rushing attack of Notre Dame, unfortunately, but it's been a heck of a run.
Unfortunately, that's kind of how I feel about it as well.